All right, welcome everyone. I am a few minutes early, but I want to make sure that everything is working properly. Let me get myself situated. So welcome. Make sure when you come on that you like and subscribe to my channels if you haven't done so already. If you're on Facebook, make sure that you like and subscribe. And if you're watching from YouTube, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and then hit the bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a new video. Today is our creation anticipation, where I take a card sketch and send you a copy of that, and then I'll show you how we can make easy cards with that template. And today we're going to make 3 easy cards, so it probably won't take that long, maybe 30 to 45, depending on how much I talk, maybe. Well, I got a little color in, so probably 40 minutes or so, maybe 30 to 40, but it won't take a long time. So welcome everyone. Happy, I shouldn't say happy Veterans Day. So I am going to wait till everybody comes on, and it's 11:27, so I am early, but if you come on and you would like to let me know that you're here, please do so. And if you're going to watch on the replay, then welcome as well. I hope you enjoy the cards that we're going to be making. In the meantime, I'm going to sit here and wait for everybody to come on, and then we'll start probably about 11:33, okay? Hey Karen, how are you? Happy Saturday. How's everything? Whew, I just went out and walked the dog, and oh my gosh, it is hot. It wasn't that bad this morning, but all of a sudden the sun's come out, and it's like, whew, it's hot. So I told her she didn't need to do her business so we can move on. So it it just got way too hot. Oh, do you like these? My pair I wear, because my little flippy doos, they come off. So the next thing I've got to do is order these Sashka bracelets. I don't know if you can see. Let me get over here. Where's the camera? These things, oh my God, they fit. They have these coupons. They sell them for $25 a piece, but they're always running coupons for like 80% off. So they run about $5. And I wanted to get the ones that are red, white, and blue, that when you put it together, it makes it look like a flag, the way they've got it, the threads put through, or the beads or whatever. And they were out of stock, so I need to order some, because I thought that looked kind of cool to have the bracelet on, you know, it'd probably be 4 or 5 of these little strands to make it look like a flag. So I thought that was kind of cool. But yeah, I love these things. I've got all sorts of different colors. They're addictive, just like my frames for my glasses. They're addictive too. Good Lord. I know, it's hot. We went out the boat yesterday. It was a nice day. Um, what is today? Not yesterday, Thursday. I haven't even posted my pictures yet. But we went out to, have you been over to, oh, you don't live near Cape Coral. Never mind. It's too far away. But we took the boat over and go to a restaurant called High Tide. And it's a little upscale, but it's not real expensive. And it's a really, really good food. And they're dog friendly. Actually, we went there a couple weeks ago. And we wanted to sit outside, and they said, "Oh, we're dog friendly. You can sit in the restaurant." We're like, "Okay," but yesterday they had, I guess they had the glass doors where they have tables that open up to the patio and then looks over the water. Those were opened, so we ended up sitting out on the deck. And Riley was in the shade, so she was happy. She loves to go. That dog is she is so calm. It's unbelievable. I put her life vest on her. She just lays in the chair and. You know, you got other boats going around, you know, how you're bouncing and, you know, Chuck's trying to maneuver over the waves and stuff. And she just lays there like, okay, whatever, no big deal. You know, I said, I wish I could, not clone her, but, you know, hopefully when something happens to her, hopefully I can find another dog that's got the same good disposition. So now she lays under my desk. Whatever. So have y'all been doing anything fun? Going out anywhere? Oh, I know. I absolutely love it. We started back going now every Thursday. We leave about 9:30. We either get a pontoon boat or we get a bayliner, and we just take our time and pick a restaurant that's on the water, and then we go out and have lunch, and then we take our time coming back, and we're usually back by 2. So it's about a half a day. It's not bad. And it's nice just to get out there. I told Chuck Thursday, I said, we need to just take the boat out and go off near one of the beaches and just kind of, I don't even know if we need to drop anchor, but just kind of float so you can just kind of chill out and relax and, you know, have lunch, and then we could pack a lunch and then just kind of lay out and just chill, listen to music and relax. It's just it's so enjoyable. I just absolutely love it. So, but that's what we've been doing, and that's nice because he's been playing golf 3 days a week, and then he's got to practice, and oh my God, he's now decided he's hurting all the time, so he's going to cut back on a day of golfing. I said, oh my Lord, have mercy. But anyways, so he's just a fanatic when it comes to stuff. Oh, you had family. Oh, they went to an orchid show. I know we have an orchid house here. That obviously everything was destroyed during the hurricane. We had a butterfly habitat that it's taken years, right, to get the right plants in there, get the butterflies to come in, or they bring them in however they do it, and that whole thing is gone. The orchid house, though, they have actually been able to save most of the house, and they've moved it over towards the water some, and I guess they're going to add on to it, but they took all the orchids that they had, and people were giving them to people that would take care of them, or they were putting them in the trees, tying them to the trees. I don't know how many have survived or not, but that was the one thing I really enjoyed when we moved here, is that the orchid house, and I know nothing about orchids, and then one of the ladies gave me a little small one when we first moved in, and it bloomed and everything. And so it's gotten bigger. Now, of course, it's not blooming, but the leaves have gotten much bigger. And then I've transplanted it. And my neighbor next door, who's a plant person, he just said, put it in bark. So it's in bark. And I just water it, maybe every 3 weeks. And it just, I let it drain. So thank you. So I'm hoping it will bloom again. We'll see how that goes. So, but, I really it's sad for the butterfly habitat, cause I can't even imagine how long it takes to, get the larva or however they do it, and have the right bushes there. I mean, it was a really beautiful sight that we had, but you know what happens, right? So, anyways. But it It is what it is. And I'm working on, I was going to let y'all know too, I'm working on a calendar. I'm not going to do it as a class, but I'm just going to sell it. So I'll wait till everybody comes on. You may have seen this before. And I'll just show everybody, see if it's something that somebody might, it makes a good, anyways, I'll go over it. I'll do my little spiel when we get ready to get started. Oh my gosh, it's 11:36 already. Okay. All right, let me go ahead. I'm going to introduce myself and we're going to get started. So for those that are here or maybe lurking and haven't announced yourself, which is fine, I'm Dawn Duvall. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up! And I have been doing this about 12 years. I am currently, I shouldn't say currently, because we're living in Fort Myers, Florida. We've been here about a year and a half. And today is our creation anticipation. I don't want to call it a class. It's a sketch that I design, and then I will show you how to create 2 or 3 cards from that particular sketch. And today we're going to be making 3 cards. We're going to use 3 different types of paper, and I'll show you what I did when I made these initially last week. I'll show you those when we get done. So let me go ahead and flip the camera down. And and I do want, I'll do it later. I'll talk about the calendar Tuesday night during Facebook. So if this is your first time, please let me know. Welcome. I do a Facebook Live every Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we run from 7 till about 8 o'clock, depending on the complexity of the cards. I try to do an easy card, like a middle of the range card, and then like a stepped up card. So if this is your first time joining me, welcome. I'm going to go ahead and flip the camera down to the table, and this is our sketch. I don't know why I didn't post the daggone thing, but it was in the picture. This is a very easy sketch. So our card base is going to be 8.5 by 5.5. Now you can do it at 4.25 by 11, which I will do one that way. And we're going to cut strips of designer paper. We're going to cut 2 strips at 1/2 inch by 5.5, and then we're going to cut the third one at 5.5. I'm sorry, at 1 and 1.25 by 5.5. And then we're also going to cut a piece at 4.25 by 1.5. And this one is just going to be flipped. We're going to flip it over. So this is a really easy way, and I thought with the holidays coming, this might be something that's going to be helpful, where you can make a whole lot of cards in a short amount of time. So I'm going to move this out of the way. Let me show you one of the cards that I made. I'll show you the other 2 afterwards in the paper. This is the card, and it's really beautiful. I didn't put anything behind it. I just placed the paper on. This is peacock. Pretty peacock, and I'm using some of the, I think this is the lemon lime twist, if I'm not mistaken, that twine that we have. And then all I did was take the paper, and what I'm using is, this is in our online exclusives. This is Delightful Floral Designer Paper. Now, one of the things you need to be aware of, if you're not already, is that you don't have to have the stamp sets to, you can buy the paper and not have the stamp sets to coordinate if you want to. And what's nice about this paper is you've got all of these designs, and you can just cut out some of the larger flowers like this. Okay, so you can just fussy cut those, and that's what I've done right here. Is I just fussy cut this out of the paper and attached it with some dimensionals. And then I added a little strip to the inside of the card just to dress up the inside of the card. So this would make some really good holiday cards with your holiday paper. And that's what we're going to make right now. Now, I will show you the other, well, let me just show you the other cards using this set of paper. Hang on a second. Let me move this out of the way. I'll just show you the 3. And what I did was I moved the papers around, okay? So the template shows them with the larger one here and the 2 1/2 inch ones here. So I just moved them. I should have taped this down. I just switched up the papers a little bit. So here's another one that I did using a different piece of paper that's in that set. I just put the 1/2 inch on each side of the larger one. I flipped a piece over, and then I fussy cut this from another sheet of the paper, and then tied some of that ribbon. So see how you can take what different color paper and designer paper and cardstock does, how it makes your cards look completely different, even though you're using the same template. So here's another one that I did, and this is using Melon Mambo. And I put the larger template on the left hand side, and then put the two half inch ones to the right. And then I fussy cut this out again, and then I flipped over one of the pieces of paper and tied my ribbon around that as well. So those you can see how different the cards look by using the same design but changing up your colors of your cardstock. So it's such an easy way, and it's going to be a great way for the holidays to make a lot of cards. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I am using the Shining Christmas specialty designer paper. Let me show you this if you haven't seen it. Hang on a second. I'm going to use 3 different designs. So here's one that is, now this one is got the Christmas trees. It's Mossy Meadow and Cherry Cobbler. And then the back side looks like that. And then this one is packages. We're going to be using these 2 right here. And this one has different designs. So even though they're holiday related, we're not using this one. You can still, now this one is holiday, but you can still use these throughout the year on different things. Now this one to me looks like, this reminds me of a golf, you know. So this could be used for a masculine card. And then there's Christmas items, ornaments on the back of that one. And then we're going to use this here of the holly. And this is the back with red and white polka dots. And then you've got some candy canes with the mossy meadow in the background, and then just cherry cobbler with white X's. So that's the paper that I'm using. And we're going to go ahead and get started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead, I was going to cut all my paper, but I don't think I can do it in my paper trimmer at one time. So I'm going to start with this Christmas tree paper, and I'm going to, it really doesn't matter. I think I'll do this one on Mossy Meadow. Now, so my card base is 8.5 by 5.5, so I've already got it scored at 4 1/4. So I'm going to have my card base like this. So I need it to be 4 1/4 this way, but with my trees, I want them to be in this angle. So I need to cut my paper at 5.5 inches, or 5 1/4. I'm sorry, 5.5 inches down. So I want it to be 4 by 5 1/2. Okay. So what I'm going to do is turn my paper. And this is where you have to be careful because sometimes you get messed up. Well, maybe not you, but I do. All right, so we're going to cut this at, I'm going to cut it at 5 1/2. Let me get over to my 5 1/2 mark. Hang on, I've got to move some stuff out of the way. All right, so we're going to do 5 1/2 inches. So let me make sure I've got it lined up top and bottom. So now I'm going to cut down, and I'll end up cutting each paper like this. Okay, so now I've got it cut for the length that I need for my card, right? So now I can come in and cut my individual pieces that I need, which is going to be 2. So I'm going to cut 2 at 1/2 inch. So what I'm going to do is open up the arm to my paper trimmer, and you can find this trimmer in my online store. It's a really great trimmer. It opens up to 17 inches, and every 1/4 inch is marked right here on this base. So I'm going to take this, and I'm going to line it up to, since I only need 1/2 inch, I'm going to move it over to this, there's an inch right there. So I'm just going to line it up at this 1/2 inch, and I'm going to cut this. It's just easier for me to hold the paper and have it lined up. So we're going to cut, whoops, I guess I need my paper trimmer, don't I? All right, so we're going to cut 1/2 inch, and I'm cutting 2 of those. So I'm going to slide this over and cut 1 more. All right, and then the next one I'm going to cut is going to be 1 1/4. So I can go over to 1 1/4 right here. So I'm going to go ahead and move this all the way to the right to the 1 1/4 mark. And I still have my 5 1/2 inches, right? All right, so there's that. And then I'm going to cut 1 more that I need at 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. So I'm going to cut this at 1 1/2. So I can go all the way to the end, which is 1 1/2. Let me make sure I'm at the 1 1/2 mark. Hang on a minute. Let me just make sure. Yeah, this should be 1 1/2 right at the edge of my thing. All right, so we're going to cut 1 1/2 this way, okay? All right, now this one is the one that we're going to flip over. So this is the one, let me show you. So this is going to be this one. So I'm going to cut this down to 4 1/4. So let me get over here to the 4 1/4. So we'll cut that at 4 1/4. And I'll have a little piece of scrap and we can just put that in the trash. Or you can keep it and make like a collage card or whatever. All right. And then the next ones I have are, there's my other one. And then these are all fine because we've already got them cut at the direction that we need them. So let's go ahead and move this out of the way. And I'll just cut the paper each time when I get ready to make each card. That'll probably be easier. All right, I'm not going to add anything to the front of the card as far as a base. So we're just going to go ahead and we're going to line up our paper. Isn't that pretty? Now I'm going to line this up. So I'm going to do just like our template shows. Let me bring the template back in. We're going to show it. We're going to do the 1/2 inch, and then the 1 1/4. Okay. So this one's going to go over here. So the first thing I'm going to do is bring in my bone folder and make sure I give this a good crease. And I always flip it over just to make sure it's going to lay flat. And then we're going to put one of our 1/2 inch by 5 1/2. So it's going to go top to bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and add some adhesive. And I did make sure that I got my adhesive working. Now watch, it probably won't work because I squeezed the mess out of it to get it going. I guess when it sits for a while, it doesn't want to cooperate. Let me bring my tweezers out so I don't get my glue all over my fingers. All right, and then you can gauge how far out you want this to be. I'm going to put this right about here. And hopefully I've got this cut. Now, if I need to trim it off a little bit, once I get it laid on here, I'll go ahead and do that. Whoops, and I'm moving it. So we're going to let that sit and dry. And while we're waiting on that, we'll go ahead and do the next piece. And I'm just putting a little bit of glue on here. And then we're going to put this one. And I'm leaving maybe a 1/4 inch of that. You can leave however much of a gap you want. And you see how it's going in the order, how you can see our picture of our trees are matching up. That's because we're doing it this way. When we start switching around the other way, obviously that's not going to work. But again, this is such an easy way to make cards. And I thought with the holidays coming, we've got, if you're going to be making a lot of cards like I do, you want to find some easy ways. And I thought this would be perfect to do that. Look at how simple that is. It took less than 5 minutes, really. All right, well, we're not done, but you know what I mean. Okay, so now we've got our piece right here. I'm going to make sure these look good. They're not over where I need to. Okay, so here is our piece that we're going to put right here. That is the 4 1/4 right here by 1/2 inch. Now, I am going to use... I've got some ribbon. Let me see which one I want. One is going to be retired that I'm going to use. I'm thinking since this has white. Okay, so let me get your opinion. We can do white with a silver, or I got this retired cherry cobbler with gold. Now, I don't think I like that, actually. I think I'm going to go with the white. This doesn't go with that. So we'll put this on the next card, hopefully. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and take this, and I'm going to cut. Let me grab my ribbon scissors, of all things I didn't bring. Hang on a minute. Let me grab them. I don't want to step on the dog. Okay, so we'll go ahead and trim that off. Oops. I've got stuff all over under my feet, and I'm knocking it over. All right, so then we'll go ahead and add this to the back. Now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and add my seal to give it a strong adhesive to hold it down. The ribbon, so we're going to put that there, and we will add our ribbon. Whoopsie. And I'm just going to lay it down. It's just, for me, it's just easier. Hopefully I've got it straight, and I can always lift it up if it's not. Yeah, it's good enough. And let's pull this over. Oh, I think this is going to look nice. And we'll put that down right about there. Okay, so there's our ribbon that we're going to put on this piece right here. And then we want to tie a bow. So what we can do is we'll do a cheater bow. If y'all aren't familiar with that, we're just going to take a piece of ribbon and just slide it underneath, and you're just going to tie it and pull your tails down, And we'll get it where we want it because we're going to put a sentiment on. And you don't have to put a sentiment, but I thought we'd put one. And we just want to pull it into a knot. And then we'll just trim off your tails. And that gives you a quick, easy way that you can make a bow. Isn't that pretty? All right, now we'll go ahead and add this. I'm going to go ahead and use my seal since I've got that on here and we've got the ribbon on the back. So let's just go ahead and I'll put a little bit right there. Okay, so now we can put this, and you can put this wherever you want. I'm going to move it down towards the bottom just a little bit, and we're going to put that right there. Isn't that gorgeous? Okay, now we can do a sentiment. Now let's see what we want to do. I've got several things. I've got several things I want to do. I'm thinking on this one, hang on a second, because I have my thoughts. I got to find my stamp pad. I'm going to do, let's see, we could do a bell. We could do the bird. And, all right, hang on. Let me see here. Which one do we want to do? Let's do, well, we're going to have trees. Let's do the bird. We're going to do a bird. And I think what I'm going to do is stamp, and we'll put a circle right here. So let me go ahead and bring in, we'll go ahead and use this paper here. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp, and we're going to color the bell. So this might take a little bit longer than 30 minutes because I forgot I've got to color. All right, so I'm going to put my bird right about here. And this is just basic white that I'm using. All right, and then we're going to pull in our blends. And let me grab those. Whoops, sorry, making noise. I am going to do Mossy Meadow for our leaves. And then I'm going to use the Cherry Cobbler for the bird. And then I think I'm going to put Peace and Joy. Let me see. Hang on. Which one do I want? Very Merry. Yeah, let's do Peace and Joy. I'm going to stamp. Let me go ahead and stamp that because we're going to use a circle punch to cut this out. Let me go ahead and stamp that on top. All right, so we're going to get that to where it's hopefully going to work. Let's see if we get this even. Okay, good enough, right? Can't complain with that one. All right, let me cover up my black ink, and then we'll just do some quick coloring. And I'm going to bring in my light. Let's do my leaf. I'm going to do my light. This is Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blends. And I'm going to come back with my dark and just kind of do some highlights. And let's see. We got this right here is part of. We'll just color that real quick. So this is really a pretty easy card. And then this is his branch. So I'm going to color that. I started early. Earlier and I was like, oh, I started coloring that thinking that was his tail. All right, so we're going to put, this is the light Mossy Meadow, and that's going to be part of this branch that he's sitting on, okay? Then I'm just going to come back with the dark. I'm just going to make a little shadow in some of these little sections here. And I think we'll just color that one in. And put a little bit right here, okay? All right, and then we're going to do our bird. And I'm going to start with the medium 600 to do his face. Oh, I didn't bring anything to do his beak. I guess that would help. I didn't do that. So anyways, we'll color. It's a little bit darker then, but that's okay. All right, and then we're going to use Cherry Cobbler to color the bird. So I'm going to do dark Cherry Cobbler, and I'm just going to rotate around. So I'm just going to put dark, and then we'll go back and color lighter. And you color however you want to color. So I'm going to do this down part. I'm going to do this one dark. I think I'm going to do them every other. So that's going to be, I'm going to put light at the top there. And then I'll do dark up here. Just so you know what my thought process is. What I'm doing. So, and then I'll put dark down here again. And we'll do this little piece right here on his tail. And I'll do this right here, dark. All right, and then we'll come back with our light Cherry Cobbler. And just color those in, and hopefully that looks good. I think his color looks different. I must have picked up a different color because I did this earlier. I was practicing just to see what colors I wanted to color it, and I think that's a little too dark for his face, but that's okay. It's all right. And I'm just going to color these with the light cherry cobbler. Make sure I get the whites covered. And then we're going to use a circle punch to cut this out. And this is going to be light on his belly. So there it is. There's a quick, easy way. I didn't bring in, but let's just, I'll use the dark wild wheat. I'll just make his beak like it's kind of yellow. You're not going to really see it. Okay, so there is our bird. So I'm going to use the 2 1/4 inch circle punch, and I'm thinking I've got enough room here. Woo, I just got that one. Look at that. I just got it right. I should have cut that down over a little bit more, but that's all right. We'll get that right on the edge. All right, so we're going to pop that out, and then we'll add some dimensionals to this. All right, and we'll put, we'll go ahead and put 4 on here. Why not? Okay. All right, now see, you could do this and, you know, you could stamp all your sentiments and punch them out however you're going to do them and color them if that's what you're going to do. And then come back, get all your ribbon done, and then cut all your paper. You can get the ribbons wrapped, and then everything's good to go. So look, there you go. How's that? And then put your white piece on the inside. You could put a piece of the paper. So let's go ahead and trim a piece of paper. We might as well, since we have this paper, let's go ahead and cut, let's see, we don't want to do a 1/2 inch, that's too much. So let's do a 1/2, and then I'll cut that, that's probably going to be cutting tops of the trees off, but that's okay. We'll do a 1/2 inch, that'll work. And then let's cut this over to 4, it's going to be 4 inches right on the inside of the card. So let's do that. And then this will just help. And then don't forget, we can always decorate the inside of our envelope. So we've got that there. Let's go ahead and put some glue on it. And then you've got a nice holiday, and you can even put this on the inside if you want, instead of having the trees chopped off. So whichever you prefer. So we could put the trees on the envelope and put this on the inside. And then we'll just add this down to the bottom of our card. Right? And then we'll add that to the inside. Now look how easy that is. Isn't that something? So just think of whatever you have in your stash. You know, use what you've got. And you can create some beautiful cards just using your designer paper with your coordinating cardstock. And of course, you can always order stuff through my online store if you need it. So isn't that a pretty card? Pretty easy and cute, and then that kind of simulates our sketch. Okay, so let's move on to the next card. So the next one, we're going to use a different type of paper. So let me pull in. We're going to do this one, which is packages. So we're going to do the same thing because, yeah, because this is going to be on a white base of basic white. So again, yeah, we're just going to cut it. It really doesn't matter, to be honest with you, because the packages, there's no rhyme or reason how they go. So we could just leave it and cut down 5 1/2 either way. So let's just cut 5 1/2 because it really doesn't matter. There's no direction to this paper. So let's just cut it this way. It'd probably be a little bit easier. So we're going to cut this at 5 1/2. All right. And then we'll come back over here, and now we're going to turn it, and we're going to cut at a 1/2 inch. So let me get, oh, I don't need that open. So let's cut a 1/2 inch, right? So we're going to cut 2 1/2 inches. All right, so we've got one, put another piece of paper over there. All right, then we have another 1/2 inch. So you could really do an assembly, right? And then we want to do 1 1/4. So we're going to bring that over to right here, which is 1 1/4. So we're going to move it right over there. I love this paper trimmer because you've got this room on the right-hand side, which really helps. All right, so we've got 1 1/4. So there's our 3 pieces. And now we need another 1 1/2. So we're going to push that all the way over here to get the 1 1/2. And that's going to be what we're going to flip over, which is going to be this side right here. So I'm a little late, but I'm here from, oh, well, look, welcome, Michigan. How are you? We've just done 1 card. We're just getting started. We're going to do 3. So I've just started the second one. This is the sketch that we're working with. I'll just let you take a look real quick. So we're going to use a base of 5 1/2 by 8 1/2. We're going to cut 2 1/2 inch by 5 1/2 inch designer papers, 1 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then another one at 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. Okay. So we're just getting started on the second card. So you haven't missed much. And then I'll show you the cards when we get done, what I made prior to this one, okay? All right, so since this one was, and this is cherry cobbler and cherry cobbler and mossy meadow. Lost my train of thought there. So because this has got the green background, I'm going to put it on white. So 8 1/2 by 5 1/2. Score it at 4 1/4, which I already did. So y'all should be proud of me because I actually scored it for a change. I'm being prepared, trying to be good. It really makes it look a lot better too. Actually, this is thick basic white. All right, so again, we can decorate. Now, the sketch shows that we put the 1/2 inches here, here, and then the larger piece right here, which is what I did with the first card that we made, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch up my paper. Now, these will line up, as you can see, how the trees are cut. I'm just going to switch it up. So now, instead of putting them in that order, I'm going to do it in a different order. So I'm going to put one of the 1/2 inches here, and then I'm going to put the larger piece on the center, and then we'll put this one right here, just to change it up. Again, as I said before, I thought it'd be an easy way that you could really do a lot of Christmas cards or birthday cards or whatever that you need to send out. And I'm thinking holidays are fast approaching, so we all need a lot of holiday cards, right? So you could do an assembly line. You could cut all your strips, get all your paper cut and ready to go, and then just start putting it together. So that's what we're going to do. So I've got this piece here. Now, even though the template says I should put another one next to it, I'm just going to put my bigger package in the center. So I'll add my adhesive to that. And then, oops, if I can get my glue to come out, there we go. We'll add this one in. And I'm spacing them about maybe 1/4 inch between. It's up to you, however far you want your spacing to be, that's your call. So I'm going to, hopefully that's straight. I think that one looks a little crooked, but that's okay. All right, and then we have our other 1/2 inch strip, and these are 1/2 inch by 5 1/2. All right, and then let me get this, I hate getting this glue on my fingers, it drives me crazy. So I try not to pick it up if I don't have to. And then I'm going to put this one right here, okay? All right, so whoopsie, let me pull that down. Got to make sure they're flush with the ends of the card because they're going 5 1/2 by 5 1/2. All right, then we cut this other piece that's 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. And that's, whoa, I cut that wrong. It should be 4 1/4. I cut that one too big. 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. So we'll just trim this down. No biggie. I got a little excited there. All right, so this is going to be 4 1/4 because we want it to go from edge to edge. So let's cut this down. And then there's another scrap you can keep and make a collage or toss it in your recycle bin. So this one's going to go here. Now, I thought what I would do is I have, and again, I don't know if this is going to look right, so I need y'all's opinion. This is retired gold, and again, I don't know if I like that. What do y'all think? I don't know if I like that. I might have to go with the white again. Or I have, I don't know why, for some reason, I thought this was going to look good. What do y'all think? I don't know if I like that with the white. I can go back and use the white again. Bel Air, Michigan. Okay, so let's, all right, y'all give me a comment. I don't know if I like that one. I think I should go with the white and silver. What do y'all think? I'm thinking, or what we could do is I can color this mossy meadow and make it green. So I'll show you. If I take the mossy meadow, and let me get it off here. Let's just do a mossy meadow real quick. Hang on. And I'll show you. We can always color this paper like we did a couple weeks ago. So let me just color it. So we could actually have a mossy meadow, which that might look pretty. I don't think I like the gold in the cherry cobbler. I just don't think this looks good. So I'm gonna make an executive decision. I'm gonna go boo-boo on this one. I don't like that. So we could color the white, which might look pretty. What do y'all think? Give me some comments. I think we should color it. So I'm going to go ahead and color it. Y'all keep making your, leave me some comments, and then if it's white, then I'll just save this piece and use it for another piece. So I'm going to go ahead and color this with my light Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blend. And now we can make it darker if we want. We can use our dark, and then we can make it darker. So this is another way that you get a lot of, use of your paper, because you can color it, of your ink. So you can color it if you can't find a color. If we don't have a color that you want, then just color with your marker or your Stampin' Blend. And there you go. I'm going to do a little bit more here on this side. Make it green. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I think that will look nice. And this paper is a little shiny, so I think, yeah, let's do that. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to cut this off. See, you just go with the flow, and it just works. All right, so, and again, you could have this going like that if you want, but to me, that looks too busy. Now, if you don't like this paper, this design, then we can go back to, let's see what's on the design of our paper of the trees, which was the, this one here. So, you could do with that one. I'm just going to leave it like this since that's the back of the paper. Figure why not? And we'll just put the green on top, and then we'll do a bow. So I'll have to cut, we'll cut another piece and color it. So let me go ahead and add my, you know what? And we are a little bit more pickier than, just remember, and I say this every week, when we send these cards out, people they're not as picky as we are, right? Because they have no idea what this card is supposed to look like. And they are just thrilled that you took the time to make a card. Right? That's about the truth. So, all right, so there's that. Now let me color another piece real quick, because we'll need to make our cheater's knot. And let me find what I did with the ribbon. Put it over here. So let me just grab a piece, and we'll color that real quick. I'm going to color it over here. Y'all can still see me. Oops, we don't want that one. We want to use our big tip, because that'll make it go a lot faster. So we'll just color it using the large tip of our Stampin' Blend, and just go up and down till you get the right color that you want. And of course, you are using the larger tip, so you want to make sure you kind of keep flipping it back and forth so this one doesn't get completely flattened out, if you will. And I'm just going to excuse my hands for being in the way of my arm. Sorry. I just want to hold on to it. There we go. All right, so that's going to be our bow. All right, so this is what they call a cheater's knot. So we're going to take this piece, and it's almost dry. I'm going to let it sit for just a minute. Just a minute, because it's still a little damp. I haven't got any green on my hands, so I think we'll be good. All right, so we're just going to take this in here. And yeah, it is still a little wet. Let me let that sit for just a second. Now we're going to do our sentiment, and I'm trying to decide which way I want to go on this one. I'm thinking I'm going to do Merry Christmas on here, and what I'm going to do is I am going to, let me get a scrap of paper here. We're going to stamp the Merry Christmas in two. I'm going to stamp it separate so that I can punch it out, and I'm thinking. My Merry Christmas. How was I going to do that? Dun, 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 dun. Because it's got to go over here. Oh, yes, because I'm going to use my oval punch. That's what I'm going to do. Hello. I'm getting myself a little confused here. All right, so we're going to use our cherry cobbler. You know, this is what happens when you get older. You turn 65 and you start falling apart. No, I'm just joking. Okay, so what I'm doing is I only want this, because I'm going to do this on 2 separate lines because I'm going to put this in the oval punch and it's not going to fit all together like the way it is. So I'm going to stamp this right here. Okay, I got my Mary. Now I'm going to clean this off really good, and I think I've showed you all this before. All right, so you want to make sure you got it cleaned off really good, and then come back on your scrap paper and stamp it to make sure there's no color. And then we just flip it around, and I'm going to do my Christmas now. So I'm going to get my Christmas on there. Okay, and then I'm going to take and I'm going to stamp my Christmas, try to get it right underneath and centered. So we're going to stamp that. All right, and I did get a little mark there, but I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, and then we're going to come in with our, whoops, we don't want the circle punch, sorry. We're going to come in with the oval. Now, I don't believe it's going to fit in, hang on a second. I think I'm going to do it in the other, hold on a minute. Well, if I know what I'm doing here. I don't think it's going to fit in the smaller one. Oh, it might. Oh, goodness gracious. Hold on a minute. Let's cut that down. Where's my scissors? I think we might just have, I wasn't thinking I was going to be able to do this. So look at that. All right, so we are going to, oh, look at that. It fits right in there almost. We'll get that, oh, just a little bit. Let's see. Let's see what it's going to look like. I think that's fine, even though I cut off a little bit. Now, I've got an oval here. I'm just going to go ahead and punch that out that I had from in my scraps. So we'll just do that. Look at that. Isn't that perfect? Okay, so that worked out pretty well. So let's go ahead and attach this. Now let's see, I think we'll put that off to the side. I think my ribbon should be done. You know what? I hope I cut this. Yeah, it should be long enough. And you know, I've noticed one thing on this ribbon. Certain colors, when you color them, it makes it a little bit stiff, which is really odd. But I think it's when you start putting the darker colors on here, it just tightens it up. And not tightens up. It just absorbs so much of the ink that it makes it a little bit stiffer, which is good. Okay, so I'm making a cheater's knot, right? So I'm just going to pull it in. Now, if you have a way you want to make the knot look pretty, so there you go. So that way you've got a bow, and you didn't have to do a whole lot of work for it. So we'll just cut this up. All right, and then there's our bow that we're going to add to our card, and that's what we did on the other one as well. So let's go ahead and bring this in, and we're going to plop that down right there. So I'm going to add my seal, since I put some on here to hold the ribbon, which makes it so much easier. Isn't that pretty, though? I really, look at that. You got that little bit of it's silver. You've got a little bit of the silver, and let me get this, hold on. See, our seal, you can fold it back if you've got some of the adhesive that's sticking out, and I got a little bit off the card. All right, so let's get that there. I'm going to make sure it's lined up before I tack it down, and I think we're good. So we're going to go a little bit lower. Isn't that pretty? Now, it's, again, we're going to put this on here, so let's go ahead and do that, and we'll pop this up, and then we'll move on to the third card. So see how easy this becomes. So you can really get a lot of cards done if you're going to do birthday cards, whatever the holiday is, or sentiment cards, whatever it is that you need. And then we're going to put that on this side. And I could have put the bow on the other side. I always have a habit, I guess because I'm right-handed, I always put everything towards the left. So let's pop, actually, let me move this up just a little bit. Hang on. I'm going to move my dimensionals up and down so it's not sitting quite on the ribbon. Then that way it will help it stick without flopping around. All right, so we're going to put that right there. And then you can add some embellishments if you like. Now we have our paper, so we can go ahead and add a piece on the inside if we want. we could also, let's just cut a strip off. And let me move my Christmas thing out of the way. Again, I'm going to do like a 1/2 inch. It might be a little much, but let's just cut a half. And then we can decide, I think what I'm going to do on this one is, since we have this here, I think I'm going to put that on the inside, and that will help bring it over. And we could put the package. I think I'm going to do it this way. So I'm just going to add my adhesive, and then I'm just going to lay it down and trim it. I like to do that, and that way I know it's going to fit. All right, so we'll lay this down at the bottom, and then you can stamp a sentiment on the inside, and or you can write your message. I always write something, so I don't stamp anything. And then I'm just going to flip this over and cut that off. All right, so there's another card using that same template, just by switching up the order of the things. Oh, happy birthday, Linda. Hey, Shar, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. All right, so that's the second one. Okay, so now we've got one more we're going to do. Now the next one, we're going to be doing a piece that's going to be 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 11, and we're going to score it at 5 1/2. And this is cherry cobbler. So now my decision is, we're going to do another piece of paper, a different design. So this one is, again, this one doesn't have a direction, so that's kind of a good thing. So we can either do it like this as a tent card, or we can do it as a long card. I think I want to do it as a tent card. So then what I'm going to do is cut this at 4 1/4, 4 1/4 all the way down, and then we'll cut it in half at 5 1/2. So let's do that. So that's the nice thing about some of these papers that don't have a direction. You can cut it whichever way you want. All right, so let's go ahead and cut this one. So since this one really doesn't have a direction either, right? Because if we flip it around, it's the same thing. So let's cut this at 4 1/4. We want it to, oh, wait a minute. We don't want 4 1/4, do we? Yeah, we do. No, hang on. Let me think about this. We want it at, oh yeah, we want 4. No, we don't. We want 4, because this doesn't matter. We want it at 5 1/2. All right, let's cut it. Actually, it really doesn't matter. We can make it skinnier, because the largest thing that we're going to cut, right, is 4 yeah, let's do 4 1/4, because we got that one piece. All right, we're going to do 4 1/4. That's fine, and we'll make it work. 4 1/4, because we want 5 1/2 on the top, right? So we're going to cut this 4 1/4. All right, so we'll move this off to the side. All right, now, so we've got our 4 1/4. So I need 5 1/2. So I'm going to move it over to 5 1/2, and then we're going to cut our 3 strips. So this is 5 1/2. Okay, so we'll set that right there. I'm going to turn this. Now we need 2 half-inch pieces. So I'm going to move this over to the 1/2 inch side, which is on the right of the cutting board, of our cutting. All right, and there's one piece. And then we're going to do another one. So we've got 2. Now I have some more templates, so we may do another template next month. It's just a different design. So, and then this one, we want it to be at 1 1/4. So I'm going to move it over to the 1 inch to right here, which is 1 1/4. So we're going to move that right there. All right, so that's 1 1/4, and these are all by 5 1/2, right? Because that's how we cut them, 5 1/2. And then our last piece we need is 4 1/4 by 1 1/2. And again, this should, all right, we'll cut this down. So we need a 1 1/2 inch. So we're going to go all the way over to the edge here, which will put us at 5 1/2. We'll cut that little piece off. We'll use that for our inside. And then we're going to cut this down because we're going to use our paper like this. So we want this to be 4 1/4. And that's going to go just like that. Okay? All right, so let me pull the template back in. So we've got 2 1/2 inch pieces, our 1 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then we've got our 4 1/4 by 1 1/2 right here. Okie doke. So now, this is our cross piece, if you will. All right, so now we're going to take our cherry cobbler, and I am going to use my bone folder again because we want to make sure that gets a nice crease in it. And then we're going to come in. Now on this one, I'm going to, now the first one we did it exactly like this. Then the second card, I switched this one to here. So now I'm going to put this one over to the left side with the two pieces to the right, the smaller pieces. Again, I'm just shuffling them up. So we're going to put the larger one here. Excuse me. And then we'll be done here probably in less than 10 minutes. Well, oh, there we go. Now we got some glue coming out. Sometimes this stuff has a mind of its own. I probably got too much on there, but that's all right. Excuse me. All right, so in this beautiful paper, this is was in our online exclusives. If my understanding was, I think this pack was supposed to be part of the celebration that they didn't do. Now this is going to hang over a little bit, so I'm going to trim that off once we get done. And then I'm just going to bring in my other two smaller pieces. They're 1/2 inch. All right, whoopsie. And we will place those on, again, right next to it. And again, I think I'm leaving maybe, I don't know, 1/4 inch between, something like that. And got my craft mat. I don't like to get glue on my paper because then it gets all over everywhere. I like the dots in the back though. That would be cute for, I mean, it doesn't have to be Christmassy. That could go like a Mickey Mouse thing. Doesn't she wear polka dots? All right, and then I don't have kids, so I don't know about that stuff, but okay. I think this one's crooked. Let me see. Yeah, this one looks a little crooked. Hang on, let me see if I can lift him up. Might end up causing a problem here. See if I can, nope, I'm not going to lift him. He's going to start tearing. All right, that's fine. I think it might be just my eyeballs. Okay, I'm hanging over just a little bit, so I'm just going to take my paper snips and trim. And I'm fine with this because I'd rather have it trim off than have it be too short. You know, so sometimes I do cut them a little bit longer. All right, so there's that part, right? So now we're going to put this over here. That one we're going to flip over. We might move it up just a little bit. And I am going to use the white ribbon for this one. And then on this one, I am going to stamp, and we're going to, this is not going to work. I need another piece. We're going to stamp the bell, and I'm going to put the bell on. I'm using, and for those that are just joining me, I'm using the So Very Merry stamp set that has the, it coordinates with the 2 3/8 circle, but I'm using a 2 1/4 inch circle just to make it a little bit smaller. So I'm going to use this bell, and we're going to color that in. So let me get my bell, and then we'll get that colored, and then we'll put the rest of the card together. So let me bring in my black Memento ink. Let me get my scissors out of the way. All right, so let's go ahead, and I'm going to bring it down just a little bit because we're going to stamp a sentiment over the top as well. So there's our bell. Now let me come back, and we're going to put, hang on a minute, and the sentiments are from that stamp set as well. This says Very Merry. Whoops, hang on. Let me get him on here. All right, push him down. All right, so we're going to stamp this, and I'm doing it in black because we're going to color. And I'm going to place that right about here. Hopefully I've got it centered enough, and I leave enough room for the circle punch. Very Merry. All right, and then let's close that up. Okay, now this one, I'm going to color the ribbon and cherry cobbler, and then I'm going to use our wild wheat because it's going to kind of give it a brass look, like a brass bell. So let's see what we do with that. Okay, so I'm going to bring in my dark cherry cobbler, and I'm just going to go through here, no rhyme or reason, and I'm just going to color different parts of the ribbon to give it, you know, like a dark and light effect, okay? So that, and then we'll come down here. I'll do this one dark. And I'm just picking. And let's do this piece dark right here. And this is the ribbon, and this is Cherry Cobbler. And we'll do this one right here in the center, because he's got 3 pieces there. All right, and then we'll come back with our light Cherry Cobbler, and we'll just color in these to kind of give it a little bit of shading effect. And we'll get down here, and I want to make sure I'm not coloring the bell. I'm trying to see what I'm doing here. All right. All right, so there's our bow. And now we're going to come in with the wild wheat, and I'm going to do the same thing. This is the dark. I'm just going to pick bits and pieces that I'm going to shade. And, you know, this is a color that you got to love or hate it. I wasn't sure about it, but when you use it different ways, it really is a nice color. I think I'm going to put this piece right there. And then I'm going to come down here. I'm going to make this part dark. And we'll do some light. I'll do dark right here. And I'll leave that one. All right, let's do this piece here dark, and then I'll come back with the light, and I'll do the center piece dark, and I'll do one of these corners over here, and we'll do this one over here. Okay, all right, and then we'll come in with the this is the light, wild wheat. And then we'll just make these lighter. Now I could have put that a separate color, but I want this to be lighter right here. And then I'm just going to highlight, and I'm going to make that part of the thing lighter. I may come back with the dark and darken it just enough so you do see difference in the colors, which you can see, but I think I'll come back and do a little bit darker with the dark one more time. Just kind of a quick around. And then this one, we're going to color that. Yeah, let me come back one more time, just a quick, just to darken up to show the difference. And the bell, and the insides, and this piece here, and we'll do here. I love this stamp set. It's such a really pretty stamp set. I like it. All right, almost done, guys. And we'll do that dark. Okay, there we go. How's that look? Pretty good, huh? All right, so now we're gonna try to punch this out with a 2 1/4 inch punch. So let's see make sure I left enough room, which I did. Perfect. So let's get that very merry in there, and I'm doing this upside down. All right, so there's that. And let's go ahead and first, before we do anything else, we're going to get our ribbon tied. And again, we're going to do the cheater bow. You know, and one thing nice about doing the cheater bow is you don't waste all this ribbon, because you would have to wrap it around, right? So you'd wrap it, to tie a bow, you'd wrap it 4 times around, 3 to 4 times. So this is saving ribbon as well. So we're going to just trim that right there. And let's go ahead and add our adhesive. Same thing. So we'll just put some there, and see I've got a little bit, I went off to the edge, so let's pull that tape right back in, and put that there, move that one back in, okie doke. And then we just attach the end, and then bring it around, and we're going to show the opposite side of our paper, our polka dots, so we've got a nice little contrast. All right, so there's that, and then again, we're going to cut a bow, enough to tie our bow, and let's do this to the right side. Let's live on the edge. We'll do this on the right side. What do you think about that? All right, so let's tie that in here. Get my fingers out of the way. All right, and we'll tie that. There we go. And I know this is gonna, I'm gonna slide it over just a little bit. Let me grab the knot. I'm gonna slide it over a little bit because I don't want it to hang off. So let's trim that, and then we'll, give me 1 second. Let me tighten it up. There we go. And then we'll trim that down. I can trim this down a little bit too. There we, whoops, that looks funny. Okay, there we go. All right, let's get that. Add this, and then I'll show you the other ones that I made as well. All right, so we're gonna put this on here. I'm gonna lay that, I'm gonna move it up just a little bit. So let's put it right about here and lay that down. And then we're gonna have our bell. We're gonna pop this up on dimensionals. So we'll go ahead and put 4 on here. Never have enough of these dimensionals. And then you can add some bling onto this sentiment if you choose to do so. I did not. I will add some later, but you could do that. All right, and then we're going to pop this little guy right down here and place it right there. And then we have our inside piece. And then on this one, I'm going to place it on the side rather than at the bottom. So I'm going to place that there and put that on the inside so we have our dots showing as well. All right, and get some little glue right here. Make sure we have enough to go around the edges. Oops, oops, oops. Okay. Ah! Hang on a minute. All right, hold on. All right, and then we're going to put this one right on the edge, right here, cover up right up to the edge. Now you can leave a space if you want to have some of that white showing. And I've got enough here, so I'm going to cut that off. Again, I like doing it this way because that way I know I've got it all the way to the edge. And then we'll add our adhesive. And you can have it on the the right side or the left side, whichever side you want your the paper. I like it to the right, but you can put it on the other side if you like. So I'm going to place that right here. And then there's your room that you can write your message. All right, there we go. So let me pull in the rest of the cards and give me y'all's thoughts on what you think about this sketch. And if you like these, then we'll continue to do these, obviously, on our creation anticipation. Okay, so here are the ones that I created as the holiday cards. And this is using, let me get my paper again for those that just joined. This is the, it's in the online exclusives, if I'm not mistaken. It's Shining Christmas Specialty Designer Series paper. And all right, so there's the 3 that we just did. Now let me show you the 3 that I did earlier. And this again shows you don't have to have a stamp set that goes with the set, right? So these are the ones that I did prior to this session. And that is using the paper that is, again, I think is in the online store. And this is the Delightful Floral 12 by 12. And this is really beautiful paper. It's got gorgeous, gorgeous colors. This is going to be perfect for springtime. But see how the difference is on how we make the cards? Now these, I fussy cut the flowers out of the paper. So again, you don't have to have the stamp set or the dies to do that if it's got beautiful paper that it goes with. So there you go. So here are some Christmas ones. I switched up this. This is how the tutorial was set up to do the 2 short, smaller ones and then the large. Same here. I just flipped them over and then put the big one in the middle. And the same thing with these as well. So there you go, everyone. I hope you've enjoyed this. And again, they're really quick and easy cards. Thank you for watching me on this Saturday. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you again. And I will see you Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in our VIP group. So if you're not a member of the VIP group, go to Shall We Stamp and request to join. Shall We Stamp VIP, and I will make sure you answer the questions. I've been getting requests, but people aren't answering the questions, and I'm not going to let you in if you don't answer my questions. So anyways, all right, everybody. Thanks again. I greatly appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you soon. If I can help you with anything, let me know. Have a great weekend, a great Veterans Day, and then I will see you next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, everyone. Thanks again. Bye now.